come get comfy with me as I explain the steps I've been taking to manifest a car. My name is Anna, and I'm an energy healer and shaman. And this year, I decided to amp up my mindset so I could create a reality that was based in positivity rather than negativity. This journey actually started after I cleansed and cleared my aura and my chakras. I realigned them, and I knew that it was time to implement a practice where I could daily shift my reality through my words and my thoughts. Because what's going on between these two ears is super crucial and important. But there has been a huge transformation and understanding of the intricate connection of the mind, body, and spirit through the process of understanding manifestation. Many times we think it's a mental thing, but your mind is only one part of the Trinity. You got the mind, you got the body, and you have the spirit. And so when I was starting this manifestation of the truck, I had to get very honest on if it was something that would best serve me. And what happened, and this is usually what happens in my life, is things will start to fall apart. And what happened was I started to take the bus for a job, and I was utilizing it to get to and from. And at first it was helpful. It was good. It got me in a rhythm. It got me into a habit of walking, and I can see how it served my highest good for a time until all of a sudden it just didn't. I am very energetically sensitive, and I had a routine of doing energy healing while I was preparing to go ride the bus. I'd either do it at nighttime or when I would get home. And I didn't have any big energetic upheavals or disturbances. If I was on the bus, I could basically shield myself for a time. And it wasn't until this last month, starting kind of in March, that I realized, ooh, this isn't really reliable, because the bus would show up only some of the time, which meant that I would have to take Ubers. And this became so unreliable that I noticed I was spending a lot. And when I say a lot, it was enough to pay for a car payment and then some insurance as well. So I had to sit there, and instead of getting mad, I gave thanks. I blessed the money. I love that I could be a blessing in those Uber drivers' lives as they were to me. And in driving those cars, I realized that I was kind of shopping for cars. I got to see which ones I liked, which ones I didn't, which ones made me feel safe, what type of size I liked. And looking back on it, I kind of just laughed. I just got to test drive a bunch of cars while sitting in the back. And I also realized that it was priming me to be positive in spending money. It was stretching my energetic capacity to hold higher payments, because many times when it comes to money, if you're stuck in a place of lack, you're going to constrict. And so as I was spending money, I could feel it stretching me. And then I would do energy healing to allow my body to heal, reset, and keep that positive mindset, even though a lot of people would have gotten really negative, would have just bitched and complained. And my goal during that time was, how can I expand myself in a positive way rather than a negative one? And it was actually pretty easy, because I love viewing life as, how do I get to be a blessing to others? But it got to the point where I had to be honest with myself. I was like, well, if the bus is this inconsistent, and to be honest, there's talk of it even shutting down, which I pray that it doesn't, because it was such a gift to me in many ways, that I would have to get a car to get to and from work. And I love my work, and I want to make it work. So I had to be honest with myself. I'm like, is taking the bus my highest good anymore? Or do I need to buckle down and get a car? With all that being said, I had to be really honest with myself and ask, is a car my highest good? Or is taking the bus my highest good? And I had to weigh out the pros and cons. And for me, I realized that the bus no longer was my highest good, not just because of the money I was paying for Ubers, but how it was making me feel. I'm very big on energy, and I'm very big on what is going to support me energetically. And the bus no longer was matching my vibration. I was starting to feel sick on the bus, and it took me extra time to heal. And I want to keep evolving personally and also financially, which means doing better work, not only within my job, but within my own personal business. And I knew that if I stayed on the bus, it would start to drain me in ways that would not support me. And so I had to be honest with myself. I could take the bus for a year and save money, but would I really save money? That's one thing you have to ask yourself, because I would be spending time on doing extra healing work, and I'd be spending money on Ubers anyways. And I had to be honest and say, if you stay on the bus, you'll be staying in lack. If you buy a car, you'll be in abundance. There's nothing bad about that. There's nothing wrong with that. You are simply seeking to better your life, and that's okay. And that's what my spirit guides told me. And the bottom line is, my desire is, how can I always better myself? And the fact that this car is the embetterment of my evolution, it makes sense to step into that. But I had to look at my lack. I had to look at how I was feeling energetically. And I had to ask myself, what is the highest good? Because for some people, it may be to stay on the bus. For other people, it may be to get the car. It depends on where you are at in your soul's journey. And I have not had a car for a year. And to me, this desire for a car wasn't just for the car. It wasn't to not feel a certain, because I know a lot of people that don't want to take the bus because it's a shameful thing. It makes them feel less than. And to be honest, while I was riding the bus the whole time, I felt like a millionaire. I actually really enjoyed it. So I had to sit there and weigh out, well, I have a lot of peace in not driving, and that might be taken away. But while I was riding the bus, it stopped being peaceful. And that's where I had to be really honest with myself. And I was like, okay, is this shift my highest good? And that was my desire. My desire was to have the mode of transportation that's going to make me feel the best, physically, energetically, and spiritually. And the bus was for a time. And the reality is, it no longer is. So after I got that confirmation, that's when I started the next phase, which was calling in the desire 120%. And I'll share that experience. I wanted to share the process that I went through to make sure that I was in alignment with this desire, that it was going to serve my highest good, and it was indeed a part of my growth. And it became very clear to me through the interactions that were happening around me. The bus not showing up on time, me having to spend money on Ubers, which equated to a payment, a car payment, and insurance payment. And then how the bus rides themselves was making me feel, and they were making me feel sick. So the crazy thing about all of that is learning how to trust those signs, because I feel when people have been brought up in lack, there's a habit to distrust the good that's coming in your life because you don't feel you deserve it. And or you feel guilty for welcoming that stuff in because you think, oh, well, if I have it, someone else can't have that. But that's dual, a double edged sword, and it's dualistic when it comes to lack. Because if you think someone else is lacking and you don't give yourself something because you feel that there's not enough, that's lack. So for me, that's my biggest thing. How can I not feel guilty? And I'm hearing you need to cleanse this. I'm going to do an energy healing around the emotion of guilt. How can I not feel guilty so I can welcome in this joy and prosperity that wants to be in my life? How can I not feel bad about working hard and deserving good things? Because I do. I put in 120% half the time. Yeah, well, most of the time, to be honest, it's an ADHD thing. There's a part of the time where I'm just laying in bed, but you know what? When I veg, I'm doing it 120%. So I'm always 120%. That's right. So this journey of learning how to discern what's for your highest good and be honest with yourself on where you need to grow, where you need to stretch yourself, and what parts of your past you need to let go of. And for me, growing up in a Christian household, I always thought I had to overgive. And in a way, it was unhealthy because there weren't boundaries around that. And I had always overgave, and it has not served me. So this experience was embodying a new way of being around having boundaries with what you give and knowing that you deserve more and trusting that I will be a good steward with that, trusting that I will be supported in getting a car. There's a lot of doubts that came up, and there still have been doubts, and I'm sure it'll be a process even once I find the car. So I really want to get honest about what emotions are still within my subconscious that are blocking me from enjoying this process of enjoying getting a car. Because I don't want it to be one of anxiety. I don't want it to be one of guilt. I don't want it to be one of shame. And I don't want it to be out of a place that is of superiority to needing to have it to feel better about myself, an egotistical one. I want it so it can serve my highest good. I want it so it can bring me joy. And if I'm in joy, that means I can give to others more fully. And that's what I want. And I just felt my body completely relax. And it's so crucial that you heal these blockages as you go through the process, as you get clear on your desires, as you get clear on the path you need to take to achieve those desires. And when they are coming from a place of your highest good rather than one from a lower vibration, this experience has brought up a lot of inner knowing around the two types of desires that can flow into our consciousness whenever we start to manifest. And that's something that I started to realize and became very clear and I had to work through. And I'm going to share about that in the next video. So if you'd like to join me on this adventure, you're more than welcome to subscribe. You can share with someone who you think may enjoy this as well. But the main thing I just want to leave you with for this week is the fact that when you are manifesting something new and something big, you want to get very clear on if it is serving your highest good. And the way that I do that is I look at what's going on around me and then I tune into how I'm feeling because your body won't lie. Mind, body, spirit. Mentally, it checked all the boxes because I was paying the money to spend on a car. So mentally, done and done. Physically, I was starting to feel ill riding the bus. It was stressing me out more than it was supporting me. In the beginning, it didn't really stress me out. and it had grown into a stressor. So physically, it was starting to degrade from my experience within reality, which is something I don't want. And spiritually, it is helping my soul evolve past these lower feelings of guilt. It's helping me detach from guilt. Really, that's what I'm hearing. Shame and blame. So I'm going to heal those feelings right now after I'm done recording so I can feel this joy, because I feel like manifesting, people look at the end result, but I want to enjoy this journey. I want to enjoy this growth, and I want to enjoy this process. So not only do I understand what it's like to enjoy life and enjoy the process, but I can also learn to trust what feels good for me, what feels right. And it's also about embodying that energy before the car comes in, because I want this decision to be imbued with love, joy, and just to be a blessing rather than oh, I need this. Oh, this is something that I need in order to survive. I don't want it to be survival. I want it to be from a place of desiring to thrive, desiring to better myself, and desiring to grow. I want so much from life, and I'm so excited that this car is going to help me get that. I love how excited I am on growing, on showing up, and really embodying a new level of being seen. And that's what this car is going to support me in doing. So I'm going to leave it there. But if you would like to join me again, you can subscribe, you can share with a friend, and down below in the description, you can check out a few different resources that I share specifically around energy healing frequencies that have supported me in clearing this energy. And I'm going to share the course that has the emotions that I will be clearing. It's a big energy healing course, but it's one that laid the foundation for me being ready to change my mindset through affirmation work. And it's an amazing course. So go check it out. But in the next video, I will describe the two different styles of desire and what you need to look out for so you are manifesting from a place of your highest good rather than from a lower frequency and vibration.